Hello, this is Shayla again, and in this channeled message, I would like to speak to you about boundaries because I was asked to share, and I of course want to share about why this topic was so or is so dominant recently in your journey and your progress through ascension. This topic became dominant because you had a lot of challenges with facing people with a lot of wounds and behaving in a certain way that you call narcissistic or psychopathic. And in a nature, they are, of course, victims by themselves of that kind of abuse, and they were so abused that they cannot see that they became the same person or almost the same person as abused them, and they cannot find self-value and love and respect towards themselves, and they are searching for it in different ways than are healthy for them, and they are searching for it in a way like in external places or through external means to validate themselves. So of course, even when you are empath and learning about this, you also can have certain patterns that you maybe inherited, because narcissism is something that is very wildly spread throughout your maybe older generation, but still spreading also into younger generations, and that's why you need to heal as well and learn. So one lesson that you gain through this, or that you have to learn and you recognize the problem or issue, is that you don't have boundaries. You realize that you need to create certain boundaries, and maybe you are asking as well, like how to have boundaries and not to really create separation and to be in oneness. And so this is a part where you are still learning how to find that way to oneness with everyone else, and maybe not recognizing how having boundaries can actually aid it and why it's actually important for it to happen. So what I want to share is about healthy boundaries, what it means, and still what is the reason for it in an overall picture. So healthy boundaries are when you find, as the opposite to your abuser, you find self-love, respect, and confidence. And from that, when you find that core frequency, you will then learn how to hold it. And you have to learn. Also, this was part of the journey last 1 and 2 years, where you could see how certain beliefs within spiritual community are toxic, and also people with the deep wounds who are struggling so much and not seeing them, not healing them, can show you that toxicity. So it's basically used by them, and they are revealing to you that you have that same belief. That's why they can actually pull you down, and their techniques can work on you. And that negative belief is about judgment. That's they use in a certain way judgment of unconditional love against you, that if you are not allowing them to be themselves as they are, they wounded selves or something in sense, then you are not really spiritual and you are not unconditional loving. So basically they are saying you are not unconditionally loving if you don't allow them to abuse you. And this is where the toxicity comes in, when you have to realize that it's not toxic to have your self-confidence and not allowing someone else to disrespect you. And I understand that many of you also want to have connection, because as you are going back and forth, that you want connection and don't want connection, or realize that it's not working, you go into separation and you don't like it as well. So boundaries are not really walls or that you need to separate yourself. Actually, when you connect deeper with yourself and your core of who you are, find that understanding and compassion of the situation and definitely themselves. So you need to have that knowledge. This is also true love and light. When you have knowledge of understanding of their situation, their patterns and behaviors, and knowledge that this is not what should be happening, and it's not disrespectful towards them, do not let them use their disrespect for themselves towards you. So you need to remove that limiting belief and negative belief from your mind, so you can hold your boundaries. And your boundary can be naturally created when you find that self-value, deep self-value, and especially through that negative experience, when you recognize how they are disrespecting you, you will feel where you are not loving yourself, so you can give that respect to yourself, and again, like project it towards them. It's positive projection. When you find self-respect towards yourself, you will then find that self-respect or respect toward them, that self-respect they don't have. And then when you have that knowledge, that light part, you can then apply love towards them through understanding, clear understanding of situation. Don't let them influence your knowledge, your understanding, by bringing making you bring your own self-confidence to their level, because that's what they need for their validation. They feel so empty and so wounded. They feel like they shouldn't even exist. So that's why, for validation of their existence, that they are valuable, while they cannot feel that value, they need to bring you so down. Like they need that confirmation through seeing someone feeling worse than themselves, than they feel like they deserve to exist. So don't let that happen, and hold that ground with confidence and love. Disagreement doesn't mean to be being separated. And you have to understand that they are separating from you and from source. And by you not giving up and losing yourself, you are giving them opportunity to find a way to real connection with themselves and source energy. So for helping them, you need to, for the sake of that help, not just them but the whole world and yourself, you need to hold that energy. Another way how you feel this belief, this negative or limiting belief influence you, is that they make you feel, or you feel like you are somehow devaluing them by being confident. But when you are empathetic, it's like, what do you feel in them? That's how they see you. It's not you are saying it or showing them that they are not enough because you are so confident, you are so yourself. It's what they see. So that's another way to look at it as well. It's almost like they are saying that being yourself in your core, like you are judging them. When you hold that firm and steady energy in your center, yourself in the center, and let your energy field to be built up, these boundaries will be automatically there, and it's not separation. Separation is just on like they are on a different level, so you are not really separating. You can connect very easily with many other people, and that is showing you that you are not really separating yourself. It's basically almost the same, like you would say that it's your mistake that you are separated, for example, from us, because we are in a different vibration. So again, it's not judgment. We also don't judge you that you are separating with your beliefs or something in that sense from us. as they are, for example, living in a different level as well, these hurt people, that they cannot reach you. So you cannot pull yourself down because of them. Now to the reason why this is also on your path, why this is so important to build up and to learn about yourself this way. This age is about expansion of consciousness. And that means, like, what is consciousness? Consciousness is that you are conscious of something. Of what? Of yourself, of course. So this is part of learning more about yourself, and you are learning also this way to knowing your preferences, to knowing your self-respect, and to learn to apply it in a different way. So this way it's just another level or layer of this progress that you are making towards being able to meet us face to face. So this is very essential part of actually being able to see us in a physical way and to handle us. This way you would be able to create such a strong boundaries and not let other not resonating energies to pull you here and there, or even not just not resonating energies, but our energies is our energy is that strong that it could pull you, those parts of you that you don't know about yourself. You would be losing in a way. So you are learning to integrate those parts of yourself, knowing yourself, into your field and your own consciousness, your consciousness that can meet us. So that's why it's necessary to own yourself. Also, this whole process, what was going on for several years and was much more amplified that it was happening let's say decades ago, it's that whales are being brought down. So that is another thing, that's why this is also happening, that those whales are not just whales between your world or your reality and ours, for example, or other higher vibrational beings. It's not that kind of whales or only those whales, but also whales among you, so you can feel and pull on each other's energies. And when you will learn to respect and hold yourself like basically in your own bubble and not to step through boundaries or other people, and also not let them step through you, when you learn through all these maybe disagreements that you can experience about your preferences and who you are and how to respect each other, you will find common ground where you will kind of like merge, when you will not be or not need these in a way like a boundaries. You can also almost imagine it as a bubbles, like imagine expanding bubbles, and when they meet each other, those are kind of like those planes, and then you can imagine it like it would burst. All of those bubbles will burst when they are stable and just meeting each other. It's like a membranes. Then those membranes would not be necessary, and then it would be when you would experience more of a resonance among each other, more telepathy, even more than now, and you wouldn't be losing yourselves in it as well, and you would also feel safe that you can move within that collective energy together. So please don't be afraid to have boundaries and to learn to respect yourself, love yourself, and to see your own value. It doesn't mean that when you feel yourself this way that you are disrespecting or showing that others are not valuing themselves. Of course they can feel that way or see it, but it's good service. So please don't put yourself down just to fit and temporarily fit into society, in a collective where you feel that it's not really a true resonance for you as well. So be willing to feel maybe that separation for a moment until you would feel that this is really right thing to do, and you would meet the level where you would feel such a compassion that you would really feel connected even with those who are showing hurt, deep wounds, and not feeling like they are connected with you. And that way you will serve in the most beneficial way towards yourself and collective as well.